Hello peeps, and welcome back to Modded Minecraft with Nightdagger. Okay, so last episode, we installed a little reactor over here. It's not going through fuel very fast at all, because right now, it's disabled. This does work. I have it while energy amount output is 90% or above. It will activate a redstone signal. And this says, while I have a redstone signal, deploy the control rods to 100%, which basically shuts the reactor off. But it keeps it active. So if it drops down, we're good. It starts up. If it's not dropping down, it shuts off. Now I did make a small tweak to the reactor in that I melted down some ender pearls and I put a couple of blocks of liquid enderium in there. Or resonant ender, rather, not liquid enderium. Put some resonant ender in there, and it increased the efficiency by about 20% over just the base cells. So definitely take the time to do that. But this is just a little baby reactor. I don't want to use big reactors too terribly much in this series, because there's another mod that I added that I'm really looking forward to, and that's Nuclearcraft. Look at all of these options. Nuclearcraft gives you the ability to produce some extremely powerful reactors. The fuel consumption is fairly negligible, actually. And, unlike this stupid thing, hi kitty, unlike this thing, which is fire and forget, you build it, you throw stuff in, and it just runs. With Nuclearcraft, you actually have to pay a little bit of attention to what you're doing, because reactors can overheat. I don't believe they go violently overheating, but they can ruin your reactor and your day in the process. Hi Tim, can't you figure out how to get up there? But, we got a few things that I want to do before we get into Nuclearcraft. The first thing that I want to do is I want to update my power reserves. Because right now, I have a power buffer of 50 million and a max in out of 25k. It's okay, but it doesn't last very long when I turn this thing on. Because this thing burns 20,000 RF a tick when it's active. Meow. Hi. What, I'm talking and now you want attention? So, I want to switch over and use Ender IO Vibrant Capacitor Banks. These things require electrical steel, vibrant crystals, which are really easy. Hi, that was my phone. Don't do that. I realize you're upset with me because I'm not paying strict attention to you. But don't do that. This requires some vibrant alloy. And one of the steps in between is going to require some energetic. So the first thing we're going to do... Holy crap, I am low on gold. Well then. So I guess I'm going to make half a stack of each. Which means I need to make a full stack of that. I'll need a stack of redstone. Stack of glowstone, which I have just enough of that also. Holy crap, I gotta go mining for stuff. I'll need 2 stacks of ender pearls. And we're gonna get this stuff going. And we'll come back to it. We'll toss the ender pearls in here. The biggest thing keeping me from doing this, other than just my laziness with mining, is that these require octadic capacitors. Octadic capacitors require 2 of the one before it in glowstone blocks, as well as the vibrant alloy. The double layers require energetic alloy, pulverized coal, which is no problem, and basic capacitors. The basic capacitors require these grains of infinity. So let's get started with some grains of infinity. Grains of infinity are received 50% of the time from burning bedrock. Now, I have noticed that the bedrock has to burn for a certain amount of time in order for this to work. So you can't use a blazing steel. If you have the blazing steel from random things, this does not work, because this thing burns blocks faster than a standard flint steel. The fire goes out earlier, and you don't necessarily get the grains of infinity. So we need to use good old-fashioned flint and steel here. But we didn't have a way to automate this easily. Until now. We do now. Let's get ourselves... I know I did this down here originally. I set up a proof of concept. Because it's close to my system, and I wanted to be able to make use of that. But I don't think I actually want to do this down here. I think I want to do this somewhere where I'm not going to see it. And it's not going to constantly click at me. I'll have to go refuel it every once in a while. But we're going to do it that way. So, we're going to need a mechanical user. We're going to want a little bit of redstone conduit. We're going to need a scanner. The mechanical user is a dropper, a redstone crystal. You get these just from mining redstone every once in a while, or you can craft them. They're kind of dumb. And Kozak's back online. That's awesome. The scanner is a dropper, redstone, and a spider eye. So this build is stupid cheap to set up. Where is heat collector, fluid collector, ranged collector? I could have sworn I had one of these. Could have sworn I had one. I'm not sure what I did with it. There's a flint and steel. The empower that I haven't reset. Metallurgic infuser. Nope, apparently I never set this up. Okay, so we'll need an iron casing. That's easy enough. That gets us the range collector. We're also going to need another ender chest. And I'm out of blaze rods again. Oh, Dagger must remember to do stuff between episodes. Or to just get it over with and start setting up his mob spawner. I'm not going to bother. Yeah, I thought for a second about going and grabbing my Blaze Soul Shard, but I'm not going to be doing this for long enough to make it worthwhile, so we're just going to run and do it. This is basically just fly out, find two blazes, hack them down, and be done with it. I do need to start working on getting more glowstone, I guess. So we may as well do this while here. May as well kill two birds. Excuse you. No. Bad gassed. No biscuit. Oh, there are so many things that I need to do. At least I'm not addicted to Tales of Berseria now. So I might actually get stuff done between episodes. Yeah, sure. That sounded convincing, right? Okay, but really though, where are all the blazes? So go check the second fortress. And I don't see any here either. Lots of nether skeletons. Lots of chickens. No blazes. There's a blaze. There's half of them. When did the nether skeletons start making different noises? I don't remember that. I don't remember that being a thing. Already got all that. Okay, sure. I mean, I guess I could compress blaze powder back into... I could get around it, but I could also get around it by just not putting it in another place and just dealing with listening to the clicks and the burning. Like, literally, the only reason I'm doing this right now is because the sound of fire in my base disturbs me. Hi. You missed me. I kill you! Thank you. Yeah, that was 4 minutes to preserve myself a little bit of agitation down the road. I did need the glowstone dust anyway, and I got a couple more wither skulls for my trouble, so I'm not too upset. Even got a couple of gas tiers. Nice. Ender chest get. By now, I should be able to come over here and turn half of this energetic. Well, I'm gonna need a way to put more stuff in there, ain't I? Hopper time. Not to be confused with hammer time. There we go. And we'll put that in here. Okay. Let's go back to the old base. To this section over here that I have chunk loaded. And we're going to dig straight down. The whole way to bedrock. Kids, don't try this at home. At least not without a minimap mod to tell you that you're safe. Hello, autosave. Okay, we'll pop that on there so that we can see, and to keep mobs from spawning if we ever have to visit this place. We're going to put the mechanical user down. I totally forgot my flint and steel. Well, you know what that means. Actually, you know, I can't even do what I was planning on doing because I don't have a crafting table, and I don't feel like going the whole way back to get one. So, let's go back to home base. And let's just get some flint and steel so that I'm bypassing all of this crap. Recipe for you. we're just going to grab a bunch of you and a hopper and a chest. Sure, we'll even spruce it up and make it a diamond chest. Whee! Alright. First thing we need is the mechanical user, which we're going to place facing this way. An important thing to know about the mechanical user. If you give this thing a flint and steel, you would think that it's going to use that on the space right in front of it, but it doesn't. It emulates the click from the space in front of it, so it's actually going to light this block on fire. The next thing we need is our scanner, which has to be pointing this way. We want the scanner to be detecting this block. We want it to detect air. If it detects air, we want it to put out a redstone signal, power 15. That's going to tell this mechanical user to work. Generic click, when redstone on. Actually, we want it to be use block on item. It's going to right click, and it's going to use a random slide. On top of this, we're going to put that. On top of that, we're going to put our diamond chest. For proof of concept, I'm going to take my item dislocator off and turn it off. We're going to put the range collector, say, right here. I need to go actually get something. So I forgot something. But if we put all of these flint and steels in here, this thing is going to get a bunch of flint and steels. And it's going to light that block on fire. This block is now not putting out a redstone signal because the block in front of it is not air anymore. It's fire. However, as soon as the fire goes out, one of these days, you can go out now. Really, you can go out. There we go. You heard it click. The fire went out and it instantly relit it. Now, it didn't produce anything that time. But it will. Let's go get an item conduit. We'll only need one. Thud. Oh, that's very close to that fire. We'll go ahead and put the item conduit on there. With the ender chest right there. You extract always. And just to speed this up, I'm going to grab a flint and steel out of here and light all of this on fire. It's all on fire. And I will turn the item dislocator back on for a second so that I can pick up a... There we go. Now I got one. I can turn this back off. This thing needs to be whitelisted. You can see now that it's whitelisted, it picked up Grains of Infinity. I could blacklist it, but that means it would pick everything that fell near here up. If something fell down here and dropped stuff, it would get chucked into this item collector, and yeah. So, we want you always active. We want you not to extract, but to insert. And range collector. Picked up our Grains of Infinity that hit the ground. Toss them into here. They're going home. Nice. So, that's one thing done. I'm now passively generating Grains of Infinity. I've currently got 6. I believe I need... Let's see, I think I need 8 for the next step. Over here, I've got some vibrite. and some energetic. I'm pretty sure I have some electrical in here. I think I have just enough electrical steel for this process. And do I have... I'm going to need to get a little bit of vibrant alloy because I need to make a vibrant crystal. I'm also going to need some glowstone blocks. Wait, no, I'm going to need 4 octadics, which means I need 8. I need 32 grains of infinity for this next step. Yikes, okay. We'll continue that next episode. But you see, I am passively generating them now. Just slowly. I could scale that build and just put a whole bunch of mechanical users with a whole bunch of flint and steels and be perfectly fine. But we're going to pass on that. Let's get started with some of our Nuclearcraft stuff. To start out with Nuclearcraft, we're going to need to build a reactor, B, get some fuel for that reactor, and C, be able to do the necessary cooling for the reactor. The whole mechanics of it I'm going to get into next episode when we build our first reactor, because we need a reactor to get some of the more advanced fuels. You have to start at the baseline, which is uranium. Uranium then refines into something else, which refines into something else as it goes through multiple life cycles, and yeah, eventually you get to the really good fuels that can produce a crap ton of power. But you don't start out there. So, we need to get some of these reactor casings. These things are basic plating and tough alloy. Tough alloy is lithium dust, or lithium ingot, and ferroboron alloy, processed through an alloy furnace. 1-to-1 ratio, you get 2 for the result. Ferroboron alloy is a combination of boron and steel. Steel, we have multiple ways to make in this pack. We can make a steel blend through the metallurgic infuser. That's a pain in the ass. We can use an induction smelter, which takes 1 steel, or 1 iron and 4 coal, but I believe the coal does have to be pulverized. So that's a pain in the ass, unless you're using coal coke. If you're using coal coke, it doesn't. But it's still a pain in the ass to have to pulverize it down. We can use the blast furnace or the arc furnace from immersive engineering, but the arc furnace is very expensive to run, and it's still pretty slow. Although it does process in batches of 12 if you have enough carbon in there. But even then, you still have to have the coke. You have to have coke dust. So you have to grind down coal coke. Pain in the ass. So we're going to try... No, not ingots. And steel. We're going to try another method, which is over here on page 2. Alloy smelter also works. Coal coke or 2 pulverized coal. But still, it takes a while. We're going to try this alloy furnace. The alloy furnace can actually run off of just straight coal and iron. Saves a step. If you're using coal coke, you can actually double your output. But I don't have coal coke at the moment. I don't think I have much of it. I do have coke bricks. Wait, those are for making coke ovens. Do I have any coal coke in these coke ovens? I've got a little bit of it. So I could make about 6 stacks of steel with this. So let's grab the alloy smelter, which I already built. I built this off camera before I really had a plan for the episode. This takes a copper solenoid. We've seen these before. It's just copper and iron. They're stupid easy to craft. It also takes these basic platings. Basic platings are lead ingots and graphite dust. Well, we already have graphite. We just smelted coal. So all I had to do was grind down some graphite and got graphite dust. Easy enough. That got us some basic plating, which I used to craft this thing. Let's plug him into some power. I'm not real sure where I want to do this, because I want to be able to monitor. I'm going to do it right here. I want to be able to monitor his power consumption. Right now, we're currently transferring 0 RF a tick. If I were to get a stack of steel, or a stack of iron, rather, and chuck that stack of iron in here with a stack of coal coke, this thing's going to start working. And it's going to burn 10 RF a tick. But it's stupid slow. Let's upgrade that. There's a speed upgrade in Nuclearcraft. It's really easy to make. Weighted pressure plates, redstone, lapis. This is just iron. So let's make a bunch of these. Overclocking. So, right now you can see it hasn't even finished its first process yet. If we were to add a single speed upgrade, the speed increases linearly. With a traditional upgrade, power use increases quadratically. So if we toss this in here, it's going to double the speed, but it's going to quadruple the power usage. It's going to use... Oh, it's not using double the power, or quadruple. It's using 30 RF a tick. But it did double the speed. Add another one. We're now using 60. And it's going 3 times as fast. Add a third one, it's going 4 times as fast for 100. 150. Let's just toss the whole stack of 8 in there. We're using 450 RF a tick. This does not concern me. Matter of fact, I'm going to make a few more. I am not in the slightest bit concerned with the increase in power usage. I'm not even concerned with 1.5k RF a tick. At this point, I'm trading power for speed. Let's get an item conduit, a hopper, and a chest. And let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more stacks of iron. So we're going to start off with 6 stacks of steel. We'll chuck that in there. Chuck all of this in here. We'll pop the chest down there. Pop the item conduit right there. This one over there, I want to disable both. This one I want to insert, not extract. And up. That'll be yet a wrench. No. I should. I really should have a Yeta wrench. Just get a stone gear, make a Yeta wrench. Oh. There. East, we want disabled. North, we want to insert, not extract. Up, we want to extract always. Now, in theory, it should not extract the stuff in the input. Okay, it's not good. I've said in theory before and then had it actually do it, and it drives me nuts. So, I'm glad it's not. Okay, back to Nuclearcraft. We will also need nuclear furnace. Smelts items very quickly using uranium and thorium ingots and dust as fuel. Manufactory. I already have a manufactory. An isotope separator will eventually need. A fuel reprocessor will eventually need. We've got the alloy furnace. We might need a fluid infuser. We may need an electrolyzer eventually. An ingot former we won't need. Chemical reactor. Yeah, there's a lot of different machines. But the first major thing we're going to need is we're going to need a fission controller. This is going to require a few things. It's going to require some magnesium diboride solenoids. This takes magnesium diboride ingots, which is magnesium and boron through the alloy furnace. And I already have 4 of them. I must have found them in a chest. Let's see, where are you? Centrifuge, machine interface, fission controller. There we go. So I already have enough. I need a machine chassis from Nuclearcraft. Actually, let's just do fission controller. Molten salt fission controller. He's putting molten salt reactors in? Okay, sure. We need tough alloy for that. Machine chassis is tough alloy, figures. So, what I'm seeing here is we need tough alloy. So, we need some lithium. And we need some boron. And we need to empty this crap out. So, we'll throw in a stack of steel and a stack of boron. And that's going to get us our ferroboron. We're just going to produce a half stack to start. And then we need lithium and ferroboron. Oh, this takes longer to process. Crap. While that's running, let's come over here and take a look at our reactor, because this thing should have powered up now. Oh, it didn't. We're still showing 94.6% full. This thing is actually not pulling enough power to stress my system. These things are currently keeping up. Well, they're not. That's a problem. Because I really want that thing to turn on before this. So maybe I should change the priority on this. Well, that's priority 0. What I could do is I could do a third network for reactor input. Or I could connect these things to a power cell. Or I could just connect them to the same... flux plug. I don't know. We'll figure it out later. Regardless, I want it to be pulling power from my reactor, not just derping. So we'll go ahead and make some more ferroboron. That got us 32 tough alloy. That'll be enough to start. So we need 4 advanced plating. We got that. We need a machine chassis. Steel, lead, tough alloy. I didn't grab any steel. We got that. We need these nuclear furnaces, which are tough alloy, basic plating, and regular furnaces. Make the nuclear furnace first, please. There we go. You know, I'm curious. Kitchen nightmare? I'm curious how fast this runs. Not limestone, sand. Put a stack of sand in here and give it a piece of uranium and see what happens. That's a little ominous. How many items does it smelt for one piece of uranium? Looks like about 30? 32? Yeah, 32 items for one piece of uranium. Relatively fast. I mean, if you're not using any other mods that give you really fast smelting, that's actually not bad. I, however, am. So it's not optimal for me. That gets us our fission controller. Did that scare you? Alright, if we put this thing down, we're going to see a bunch of crap. No fuel, 0 cells, 0 R per tick, 0 H per tick. We're also going to see casing incomplete. I'm going to set up a basic casing just to show you guys what it looks like when you build it correctly. So, we're going to do just the absolute most basic reactor possible. Let's turn this back on. Put it back on my hotbar. Okay, and we put the controller down somewhere touching it, and we have a 1x1x1 fission reactor with no fuel, no cells, no R per tick, no heat per tick. That is the absolute most basic reactor you can build aside from putting a cell in it. In order for it to actually do anything, you have to put in one of these reactor cells, which is clear glass and tough alloy. So let's do that. And let's go ahead and build this again. And now we have the smallest reactor that would actually do something. We don't want to use this though, because we have no way to cool it. And things would get very bad very fast. All of that nonsense we're going to get into next episode. Off camera, I am going to create a bunch more stuff in order to be able to build my first Nuclearcraft reactor in the next episode. So, I will explain the processes that got me to where I am next episode, but I'm not going to show it all on camera because it's going to take several hours to get this stuff ready. I'm going to be spending a lot of time with this thing, I'm sure. I'm also going to be spending a lot of time smelting down graphite, or breaking down graphite and all of that crap. And then, we're also going to need to make our fuels, which I'm curious about. Let's see here. LEU-233 is the first fuel that you can use, I think. Or is it TBU? It's TBU. Oh wait, no, that's an isotope of thorium. LEU is 230, uranium-233, which is uranium-233 and uranium-238. You get that from a fuel reprocessor, LEU-235, high energy, neptunium, MOX. TBU is thorium. So isotope separator, thorium ingots. There we go. That will get me thorium. So I can start with a thorium fuel. Base power is 60 R per tick. base heat gen 18. So we're also going to need a bunch of this stuff. Let's go ahead and see if we can do this isotope separator real quick. I just hit the 40-minute mark, so I might be able to set this up. The isotope separator is a machine chassis. We've seen that. 2 electric motors, copper solenoids, we've seen those. We need to get more gold, too. Steel, gold nuggets, and some basic plating, it looks like. So yeah, there's my isotope separator. Nuclear refinement. Pop. If I grab some thorium, I'm going to start with a stack. If I toss thorium into the isotope separator, it's going to start working. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab 8 of these. Pop those in because I don't feel like waiting forever. That's going to split it down to thorium-232 and thorium-230. Can I pick this up without dying? Yes. I don't know how I'm holding radioactive isotopes in my bare hands, but I am. Now, to make TBU fuel, I just need 9 thorium-232. So what's the thorium-230 used for? Thorium-230 is used to make lead? That's it. You use thorium-230 to make lead, or depleted thorium blocks. Depleted thorium blocks can be used to make helium collectors. Okay. Sure. So it does have a use, but not an immediate one. Let's break that, and thorium-232. Hello, TBU fuel. Can I hold you? Yes. I am holding nuclear fuel in my hand, and it's not hurting me. I don't know how. I'm not going to question it. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Nightdagger with episode 21 of Mod of Minecraft with Nightdagger. Next episode, we'll actually get into building a basic Nuclearcraft reactor, so we can start refining some of the more down-the-road fuels and build bigger and better and more badass reactors in the future. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. I'll catch you later, peeps.